You know what retail media reminds me of right now? Moneyball. Remember the movie about how baseball scouts used to rely purely on intuition and experience? They would watch a player's swing, their footwork, how they carried themselves, and make accurate predictions about their sporting potential. There was real expertise there, decades of pattern recognition and a deep understanding of the game. Then along came sabermetrics with all its data and analytics. And the teams that really won weren't the ones who fired all their original scouts and went pure numbers. And they weren't the ones who completely ignored the data revolution either. The winners were the organizations that found ways to combine that traditional baseball wisdom with new analytical capabilities. And that's what's happening with shopper marketing and retail media right now. Yes, retail media gives us incredible data and targeting capabilities, but the brands seeing the best results are the ones finding ways to merge that with the deep retail expertise of traditional shopper marketing. Things like understanding the retailer relationship, store operations, and how shoppers actually behave in physical stores. I've been talking with both shopper marketing and retail media leaders on the brand side to learn about how they're managing this evolution. And what's fascinating is the different approaches they're taking to integrate these disciplines. Let me share some of what I'm seeing. Good morning and welcome to the Retail Media Breakfast Club. I'm your host, Kiri Masters, and every weekday at 6 a.m. Eastern, I bring you candid and real discussions in the world of retail media and marketplaces in just 10 minutes. So bring your own cup of coffee and we'll get smarter about retail media together. So this discussion comes from an article I wrote for Forbes, which was published on Wednesday, February 12th of 2025. So first, let me share some research that I've been looking at. These numbers from IAB Australia tell us that most retail media spending, about 70%, is actually being redirected from other advertising channels like traditional media, social media, that kind of thing. But here's where it's interesting. The rest of that spend, that remaining 30%, is coming from trade retail budgets. So this isn't just about moving money around within retail, it's actually bringing new dollars into the ecosystem. So in terms of how brands are actually handling these budget shifts, I want to talk first about Tillamook, the ice cream brand. For example, I caught up with Priya Shenoy there who explained their approach. And what Tillamook is doing is they're keeping their trade funds, the money for price promotions and slotting fees, separate from their retail media spending. And this is helping them to maintain their traditional activities while still building out their digital capabilities. But not everyone is taking that route. Again, back in Australia, CPG brand Goodman made quite a bold move back in 2023. They took their entire trade marketing budget to their agency of record to manage it alongside their brand budget. And they called that an integrated planning model, basically bringing brand and trade budgets under one roof. Now let's talk about how the shopper marketing discipline itself is evolving. I had a great conversation with Michelle Boisvert over at Georgia Pacific. And at Georgia Pacific, they've actually rebranded their traditional shopper marketing team to omni-channel marketing, which is as much an internal PR exercise to show the rest of the organization what they're focused on than anything else. One of the biggest game changers in the e-commerce space has been around attribution and how we measure success. A CPG brand leader I spoke with on Background put it really well. In the past, they were working with things like coupons and floor ads in a traditional shopper marketing context that, while they could be very effective, they lacked really specific data that we're able to now get. Now this same individual with retail media activations can track 3/4 of their activities right back to unit sales. And that was something that was simply not possible just with store-based activations. So as retail media networks expand beyond simple sponsored product ads into brand building and upper funnel tactics that we're seeing, particularly with the larger players, the integration of traditional retail expertise with digital capabilities becomes even more critical. And this is where we can come back to that Moneyball analogy. The teams that ultimately dominated baseball weren't the pure analytics shops. They were organizations who invested heavily in both data capabilities and traditional scouting. They found ways to make these different mindsets work together rather than compete with each other. And I think that's where retail media is heading. The winners won't be the brands who go all in on digital while dismantling their shopper marketing expertise and throwing away all of those playbooks. They're going to be the ones who figure out how to combine the pattern recognition and retail fundamentals of traditional shopper marketing with the precision and measurement of retail media. Because just like in baseball, sometimes the most valuable insights come from combining what you can measure with what you just know from experience. Well, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Retail Media Breakfast Club. We meet here every day at 6 a.m. Eastern. So be sure to subscribe and get your daily dose of insights, trends, and hot takes in the world of retail media and marketplaces.